In May 1985, a hunter walked off a trail inside Bear Brook State Park and noticed something strange: a rusted 55-gallon steel barrel. When police opened it, they found two sets of remains: an adult woman and a young girl. The bodies had been dismembered and sealed inside plastic. There were no identifying items, no documents, no clues pointing to who they were. From the start, investigators believed the victims were connected, but how, they couldn't say. They were logged as Jane Doe and Child Doe. Police searched local and national missing persons records. Nothing much. That fact disturbed investigators more than the crime itself. No family had reported these two people missing. No searches, no public pleas, no trail of concern. The victims had disappeared without leaving a ripple. But in November 2000, investigators returned to Bear Brook State Park for a deeper search. Just yards away from the first site, they found another barrel. Inside were two more bodies: another adult woman, another young girl. The method was identical. The implication was unavoidable. This was a single offender using the same dumping ground, and possibly over multiple years. 4 victims, still no names. As forensic work continued, a crucial detail emerged. The 2 adult women were not biologically related. The 2 children were not sisters. This was not one family. It was multiple women and children connected only by the man who killed them. Investigators now believe the killer was someone who lived with the victims, controlled their movements, could make them disappear without raising alarms. Dental records failed. Fingerprints were impossible. Early DNA testing had nothing to compare against. For years, the case remained frozen. The victims existed only as evidence numbers, but science was about to change everything. In 2015, investigators used forensic genetic genealogy, a method never before applied to unidentified homicide victims. Instead of searching for criminals, they searched for relatives. Family trees were built backward, from distant DNA matches to possible parents and siblings. Slowly, identities emerge. The adult woman from the first burial was identified as Marlies Elizabeth Honeychurch. He was born in 1954. With her was her daughter, Sarah Lynn McWaters, born in 1977. They had disappeared after Marlies entered a relationship with a man using a false name. That man was Terry Peter Rasmussen. The adult woman from the second burial was identified as Marie Elizabeth Vaughn. She had moved frequently and lost contact with her family years earlier. With her was a child later identified as Rhea Ann Rasmussen. Rhea was Rasmussen's biological daughter. Evidence suggests Rasmussen murdered his own child, then concealed her body alongside her mother. Terry Peter Rasmussen was a drifter and conman. He used dozens of aliases. Wherever he went, women vanished. In California, he murdered another woman. His only confirmed conviction. He died in prison in 2010, never confessing to the Bear Brook murders. But his DNA taken years earlier matched all 4 victims. The killer was identified after his death. There was no courtroom reckoning, no explanation, no motive, no apology. But the victims were no longer nameless. They were no longer hidden. Their stories were returned to them piece by piece. For nearly 40 years, 4 people were buried in silence, not because no one cared, but because no one knew. The Bear Brook murders reminds us that some crimes don't fade. They wait, and when science finally listens, The dead speak. On November 29, 1970, a father and his two daughters were hiking in Eastelin Valley near Bergen, Norway. The area was known as Dead Valley, not because of stories, but because people sometimes went there and never came back. Off the trail, they found a woman lying among the rocks. She was burned. She had no identification, and no one knew who she was. She became known only as the Eastan woman. Police arrived and examined the scene. The woman was lying on her back. Her hands were near her chest. Her clothes were badly burned. Nearby police found an empty bottle of sleeping pills, burned clothing and personal items, and a strong smell of gasoline. There were no signs of a struggle, no clear footprints leading away. Her face was badly burned, making identification impossible. The death was considered suspicious. An autopsy was performed. Doctors found that she had taken 50 to 70 sleeping pills. She had also breathed in carbon monoxide. Her death likely occurred 6 to 8 hours before she was found. But one detail stood out. Her fingerprints had been damaged, not by fire alone. They appeared to have been intentionally treated with chemicals. These suggested planning, not accident. The woman had no passport, no wallet, no documents. Every clothing label had been cut out. This was not random. At the time, police believed she did not want to be identified. She was buried in an unmarked grave, still unknown. Police traced her movements through hotel records. At the Bergen train station, they found 2 suitcases stored in a locker. Inside were several wigs, sunglasses, makeup, different currencies, and a notebook with coded writing. The codes listed dates, cities, letters, and symbols. Police later confirmed these codes match her travel history across Europe. Hotel records showed she used at least 8 fake names, including Claudia Tailt, Alexia Zarna Merchanus, and Vera Charles. She claimed different nationalities. She changed accents. She often paid in cash. Hotel staff later said she avoided conversation. She asked for rooms with balconies. And then, suddenly, she checked out. Several witnesses came forward. They said she spoke German, French, English, and possibly more. Her accent changed depending on who she spoke to. She seemed nervous. She often looked around before speaking. Sam remembered seeing her with a man, but descriptions were unclear. No suspect was ever identified. This happened during Cold War. Norway was important to NATO. Some investigators wondered if she was involved in intelligence work, espionage, secret travel. However, no official evidence ever confirmed this. These remained theories only. Norwegian authorities ruled the death as suicide, but many questions remained. Why remove fingerprints? Why destroy labels? Why use codes and fake names? The case was closed, but public doubt remained. Today, the Eastdale woman has no confirmed name, no known family, no clear explanation. But she is remembered because someone worked very hard to make sure she would not be. Some people vanish by chance, others vanish by design. Thank you for watching the video, and if you want more contents like these, please consider subscribing.